What is going on, everybody? Hey, this is your boy JC from JC Eagles Talk, and I have with me, a special guest from the Washington football team. It's Washington week, but is it really Washington week? But we about to talk about it. Hey, without further ado, please introduce yourself and just let them know a little bit about you.
Thank you, JC, for having me, man. What's up? So I'm George Carmy. I'm a managing editor for Full Press Coverage of Washington, which is a local, it's actually a national site, but I'm head of the Washington team around here. I write for the webpage. I also have a podcast as well, Full Press Washington, the podcast. So thank you for dropping that. I appreciate that, man. So happy to be here. Happy to talk shop at NFC East, man. I'm all about it.
Yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. Hey, the first thing is the injury report for the Philadelphia Eagles. At least for the Philadelphia Eagles, we do have one person on that stupid list. I mean, I don't even want to say it because I feel like the minute I say, more people is gonna pop up on that stupid list. But it's Quez Watkins. He's on the list and a backup to the backup to the backup running back in Huntley, which he don't even play for. He haven't played a game yet for us. But besides that, a lot of limited practice. Jalen Hurts. My gut feeling is saying that he's not going to play. I think they might give him one more game. I think that the injury was worse than a lot of people thought. A high ankle sprain.
Yeah, high ankle sprains, you don't mess around with that, man. It's pretty serious. I feel you. Yeah.
Exactly. So I'm thinking that, hey, Gardner Minshew went out there a couple weeks ago. He looked decent, against the Jets. The team wasn't even ready, prepared, for him to start. Yeah. But it is what it is. But at least we know that our backup quarterback is capable of going out there with the team around him and possibly, taking us to victory. Jordan Howard, he's also been limited. That's our big back ever since he's been in the lineup. The Philadelphia Eagles have went from the 29th rush team to right now we're number one and rushing. Just a short 7 weeks span. So I mean we really need him back. But if he's not able to go, Miles Sanders, he was also limited. See, our both running backs, Jordan Howard and Miles Sanders, but I don't see Boston Scott on there, so he might be ready to go. The last thing that was happened to him was he was sick over the week, so he wasn't nothing injury related. But besides that, tomorrow we will know a lot more. If you see all full practice, these guys will be playing on Sunday. But hey, what's the injury looking like on your side of town?
Dog, man, it's a mess. We were talking about our pregame. So it's funny, injuries aren't necessarily the big problem in DC. It's all about COVID, man. It's all about that COVID spreading around. In regard to injuries, a couple that I can report on. So Taylor Heineke, who was our quarterback, has been kind of up and down. I feel like, Jalen Hurts and Taylor Heineke kind of are perceived in the same way in your media area versus our media area. He's kind of you're proud of him one game, he lets you down another game. He's a clutch one time. He's kind of throwing, bad play another time. So Heineke's a good player, but he got banged up pretty bad, man. So Cowboys, we played him last week. Micah Parsons, he is what he is, man. He's a monster. And Heineke walked away with kind of a bruised elbow and a bruised knee, but I think he's going to play. The big one for you guys, if we miss out on him, Terry McLaurin, man. Terry McLaurin had a 50-50 ball. He basically caught it, hit his head in the back of the on the field. He had concussion-like symptoms, but hopefully he can pull it out. So those are the big, actual injuries. But then hot mess in regard to COVID. I'm sure that's where we're going next, right?
Yeah. Let's talk about this whole list that your whole team is on. I feel like, man, I don't know what's going on over there. Honest truth. It reminded me of a few years ago. I believe this one team had SARS in their locker room, and nobody didn't know. But it's hard for me to believe that y'all just played the Dallas Cowboys. Yeah. Now I could understand if they started having 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 people on there, then and they just finished playing y'all. Then I could understand, but. Is it in your own locker room? What is going on? That y'all have 18? The last time I checked, it was 18 or 21.
So for one conspiracy theory, very suspicious that no Dallas Cowboys whatsoever has any COVID at all, right? We just played them a couple of days ago. They're off the hook. But yeah, but you're right, man, JC. We got 18. We have 18 people that are either are tested positive or basically in close contact. And I'll give your fan base a little context if you're not really following Washington. So
Mm,
during the preseason, Washington started off with the lowest COVID vaccinations in the entire league. I don't know if you know that at all. And
no.
Ron Rivera was pissed. Ron Rivera was he basically was like, you know what? He was like, uh, you know, I had cancer last year. I'm immunocompromised. You
Hmm.
basically, it's kind of selfish that you guys aren't getting these shots. And basically,
Yeah.
once he started kind of throwing that guilt card out there, a lot of them started getting more vaccinated. But one player that was vocal about not being vaccinated was Montez Sweat, who I love that guy, number 90. If you guys are just
Mm.
don't really are familiar with him,
Oh yeah, we know.
great player. He's a great player, man. He's a beast, and he's like kind of like Julius Peppers, man. I love him. He's got the way he's built, and
Hmm.
basically he had a heart condition. I don't know if you guys followed him, but awesome defense end. He basically had heart condition coming out of the draft, and he was like, "Hey, I don't feel comfortable with the vaccinations. Like, I'm a young player. I'll deal with it when I deal with it, kind of thing,
Hmm.
right?" And he basically denied the vaccination, and he broke his jaw against the Broncos. He was out for a couple of weeks on IR, but
Yeah.
he was supposed to come back last week for the Cowboys game. Like, here we go, Cowboys, Washington, here we go, and then basically tested positive for COVID, and people are kind of like, as like you said, you weren't getting the vaccinations. Here we go. And then now our defensive line, our defensive backs, and everyone on the defense is now infected. And it's like, you don't want to point at him, but it's like, dude, like, yeah, you never know what really happened. But, it's kind of like the arrow's kind of pointing his direction. So, I think we're getting hit off pretty hard, especially at the D line. But I don't know if you have any other,
Yeah,
go ahead.
yeah. I think that y'all the most hit team in the NFL. And we
Also
was
in
talking
Cleveland.
about this in Cleveland too. But we was also talking about this before we came on air. I mean, do you think it's karma? The Washington Football Organization, your owner, he's been all over the news the past few years. All for all the wrong reasons.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, right now it's just like the Giants, as bad as they are, they're not even that bad with the whole COVID thing. Y'all just
Yeah.
played Dallas, like I said, y'all just played Dallas. Maybe one person, I believe, Eric Wilson, maybe on the Dallas side, came down
Mm-hmm.
with it. But besides that, I mean, yeah, like, is it karma? Like, I mean, is it like, hey, this is about to come back around. So as long this guy is in charge, as long Dan Snyder is in charge, y'all organization might be cursed.
For real, man. Yeah, I mean, and I'll preface it like this, man. I'm the realest Washington fan that are out there. I'm not going to be a homer and basically like we're going 16-0. I'll keep it real with you 100%, man. So I do think there's some bad mojo with Dan Snyder as our owner, man. I really do. I've been a fan for over 30 years. I was born and raised in this. Two older brothers give me a jersey when I was a baby. This is my thing, man. I love football all day, and growing up, I never thought, the Redskins name, I never thought that was a big deal. But then, as time got older and we all got wiser, like, you know what?
Yeah.
It's not good to reference anybody's skin color at all in regard to a team name, right? So I'm glad we got rid of that. But I just think you're right, man. I think Dan Snyder, just, if you actually follow it closely, burning bridges with his, former colleagues, suing people, people are scared of him, sexual harassment. He just anyone that interacts with him, they leave off in a worse place because of it, right? So I definitely think there is some bad mojo behind him. I was telling you before, I'm really a big fan of Ron Rivera. I think honestly, like in my heart, I think the NFL kind of were like, Ron Rivera, you have to go to Washington to kind of clean up this mess. Like I think like it was kind of like a marriage because I think Washington D.C. is the nation's capital, man. Philadelphia, NFC East, like we are
Yeah.
that big markets, man. And I think it's like he's running us into the ground. I think they're just trying to, him and Jason Wright are bringing us together. One cool thing to kind of share with you guys in Philadelphia is the president, Jason Wright. You guys should just follow him on Twitter in general, even if like a fan from afar. He's awesome, man. He's the first African-American president in the NFL. He does a lot of fan outreach, and he has these things called fan ambassadors where, like, he'll call us up. Like, he actually called me, the team president, on the phone, half an hour conversation, and be like, hey, man, what are we doing wrong? How do we get fans in the seats? What do I
Wow.
do? And how tight's that, right? Like, you don't hear any owners doing that. So, like, there's some good people over there, but it's like Dan Snyder's the one, man. I think, like, maybe if y'all do believe in that, like, voodoo and all that stuff, I think Dan Snyder's bringing it, man. I think Dan Snyder, there's too much bad blood on the bridge, man. I think it's kind of, going off on our team over here.
Yeah, and there's nothing that you could do about that because he owns the team outright.
Owns a team, and he has a son, dude. So it's crazy. Yeah, it's a Snyder generational thing. It's kind of scarier out here. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, y'all can't vote him out. I mean, unless the report get leaked some
I
way
agree.
somehow, I feel like if that report get leaked, I don't know how much power does the Roger Goodell has. Maybe like the NBA with the whole
Donald Sterling and the Clippers.
yeah with
Yeah, I
that
agree.
kind of
Yeah.
like forced him out, but hey, we'll see what happened, man. Look, hey, I know we're rivals and stuff like that, but I hate to see, man. Like, I really hate to see an
You want it to be on the
organization.
You want to see
Uh,
it on the field, right? You don't want to see all the drama off the field, right? You want to see the battles on the
exactly,
field, right? That's how I'm at too. So,
exactly, and
yeah.
it's the
So,
bad drama off the field. You know what I mean?
yeah,
It's
man.
the whole COVID, it's the sexual harassment, like and stuff like that. And then RG3, he's about to come out with the book. I think next year. I don't even know.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if it's for money wise or what he's trying to get out of it because he was there. He's
Yeah.
been gone for what 6, 7, probably
Yeah.
longer
So
years than
he
that.
played in maybe 8 years now because he played 2012. He started 2012. That's when he blew up. 2013 he was injured. Then it was like 14 and 15 he was still on his contract. So he hasn't been around. He hasn't played in like in 5-6 years. But
So
he's
why
been
didn't he say
yeah
something then? You know what I mean? Like as soon as you left the organization, look, this thing was still going on. You know
yeah
what I mean? People were still working there.
yeah
Maybe if you had brought this to light as soon as you left,
yeah
or maybe things would have maybe come out surface a lot earlier.
yeah.
But I just feel like now it's like 5, 6 years later, and you trying to benefit off of these women and whatever stuff that you think happened in the organization. And what is it going to change now?
I'm glad you see it too, man. For real. Like I think it's like, he rubbed a lot of people the wrong way in DC. And like I don't know, look at my timeline or I can tag you after the show. Like there's some former veterans that basically were in DC. They're like, man, I was like RG me, like it's not a good look. You basically were like you're capitalizing off of this. And he was known for being selfish here in DC. I don't know if you guys ever knew that. Like his dad like was in like after the game, his dad would be in the locker room and his dad would want to talk to the coach and talk about the plays. And like, dude, why is the dad even, why is the dad overstepping the boundaries here? And no, like trust me, like I've actually have talked to some of the ladies that were part of this whole investigation. They've been hurt. Like they've been like,
Yeah.
pictures were taken of them, like, when they were undressed, they were sexually harassed, they were like pawned off on like club ticket holders and stuff like that. So it's like they actually went through some drama. I don't know if you know this, but RG3 is claiming that he was sexually harassed. Because like it wasn't
No,
like
no, I did not know
that's
that.
the story. He was like, this is my story of me being sexually harassed coming out. And I'm like, I guess you got to respect that, but it's like he just comes off as disingenuous. So it's like, you want to believe him, but you don't. And it's like, I don't know, like for him, it's like it was a sad story that he got injured, but now it's
Oh
like,
yeah.
dude, like we were like, if you just didn't say anything, we would have welcomed you back with open arms. But now it's like the book's called Surviving Washington, and just like it just comes off as drama, man. It's like, it's like not like Fred Smoot was like, I don't want to pull the whole like gender card or whatever, but Fred Smoot was like, what man do you know has ever written a tell-all book? And it's kind of like just crapping on RG3, you know what I'm saying? So it's like he's just like, what's going on right now? So it's not a good
Yeah.
look, and people are like thinking he's just fake right now. So that's where we're at with
Yeah.
him.
I mean, hey, I can
Yeah,
see that. All
yeah,
right. So look, y'all finished the season off strong last year. I
yeah.
mean, hey, y'all made it into the playoffs. Y'all went to the wire with the defending champs in the Bucks, and y'all was the favorite coming into the season. A lot of people, it was between Dallas and the Washington football team because of y'all defense, because of Ryan Fitzpatrick. Y'all, I guess your big free agent signing, um,
Mm-hmm.
which was the team that was weak at was the quarterback, and
Mm-hmm.
he's not a franchise quarterback, but he's a good bridge quarterback. You saw what he did with the Dolphins and stuff like that. So, hey, y'all were the favorites, and now y'all start off 2-5, I believe. So, what was your season prediction? Like your prediction going into this season for your team? With all that being said, the way y'all ended the season.
Yeah, I'll break it all down for you. So, like I said, man, I'm practical. I'm a realist. I thought that we ended the season 7-9 last year. We kind of ended up on an uptick, and things looked pretty good. So I was like, you know what, our team's there. But dude, I'll live for this, man. I'm sure you do too. I
Yeah.
study the team. I'm reading about it over all summer long, and I'm a realist. I was like, you know what, Dak Prescott coming back. This is my honest prediction, right? I was like, I think the Cowboys are going to be 10-7. I think Washington's going to be 8-9. I had you guys at 7-10 and the Giants at 7-10. That's what I had going
Mm-hmm.
into the year. And my rationale was the Cowboys are like, I thought we were going to be a better team, but we had a first place schedule. And our first place schedule, like you were playing like our first like 8 games was like Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen. Our team was like, look at our, like, I think we actually have the number 1 strength of schedule in the entire NFL. And it was like, I saw that coming. We played every quarterback, Russell Wilson, like Brady. We literally have, except for Lamar Jackson, all of them. So, I knew we were going to take us. Like I thought our offense would uptick. I thought our defense would go down. Like our defense was like number 2 overall. And I thought that was kind of inflated with like, because we played like, Ben DiNucci from like the Cowboys. We're playing like backup quarterbacks at the end of the year. So I was like, you know what? We'll be like a 10-15 defense, 15-20 offense. So we'll be like a 8-9, 9-8 kind of team. What happened was Ron Rivera and Del Rio are good coaches. They really are.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they kind of like they thought they could coach so I'm going to rephrase it. They got a whole bunch of rookies and young talent, and they're like, you know what? We can get rid of these vets because we're good enough coaches to get these rookies under control. And I just think it took some time to kind of blend. Like we had like a new safety, a new nickelback, and a new cornerback, and like we're getting like 75-yard bombs the first couple of weeks of the season. They started to tighten it up, and I think our defense is starting to come together. So I think people were angry because at the beginning of the year, it was like, our defense is supposed to be leading this team, but we're giving up 30 points per game. And, things were kind of burning, but then our defense got under control. Heineke kind of settled down. And that's where we got to that 4-game winning streak, kind of like leveled out a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, look, I thought that with Dallas, with the whole Dak thing, I was like, man, he ain't practice all basically our training camp. He missed our preseason. None of that joint practice stuff, and he's going to be rusty. So there's no way that the Dallas Cowboys will be in first place. I really thought that the Ryan Fitzpatrick addition was huge. But I didn't know that y'all got rid of so many veterans and was relying on these young guys, because it sounds like to me like the Philadelphia Eagles are a young team, but they do have some veteran presence, in the Fletcher Cox, in the Kelsey, Barnett, but in the Brandon Graham, even though he got hurt, but he was still there, throughout training camp and stuff like that. So I really felt like, unlike you said that 9-8 and 8, and I feel like this with a good running game, because we had a young quarterback. A quarterback best friend is the running game. So I feel like the good running game, 2 tight ends with Goddard and Hurts, and we probably could run to victory in a lot of games. All the Philadelphia Eagle fans was thinking the exact same thing. Hey, if we run the ball, control the clock, don't put too much on Jalen Hurts. This was probably his 5th game starting. All last year was a dumpster fire with the whole Carson Wentz, with the whole Doug Peterson, with the management. People got fired, people got cut. I mean, all that good stuff. So I was like, hey, we could beat a lot of these teams if we just run the ball and play good defense. We had Barnett and Sweat. We also got a Sweat.
Yeah, no, Sweat too. He's a pretty good player. I know.
Yeah.
It's Josh Sweat, right? Josh Sweat.
Right? Yeah, Josh Sweat.
Yeah.
He got paid before the season started. Because we thought he was going to have a breakout year. Fletcher Cox, Hargrave. He's been that dude on that defensive line. So I'm like, okay.
Your D line's always so. Honestly, going in, like I'm a realist, so I was like, you know what, going in, I thought people were kind of too low on y'all. People were like, oh, they're gonna have a top 5 pick, and they're kind of like
3-14 record, man.
I know. Yeah, I saw that, but I think it was more of like a Wentz and all that falling apart. I was like, you know what, Eagles gonna bounce back. My thing for y'all is that from a third person perspective, I was like, it was like, who is Hurts? Like, what's not in a negative way. Like, is he a good player? Is he not? I got like Hurts was the question mark, and whether your wide receivers would rise up. Right, your offensive line's pretty solid. Your D line's pretty solid. I was like, are your wide receivers going to step up? It can Hurts be somebody? It's kind of the big question mark, and he's doing all right. Like, I think he's pretty athletic, and he can he could take over a game. It's like the consistency with him. That's the only thing I kind of noticed with him.
I just feel like, look, I love Jalen Hurts. All right, I didn't like the pick at the time. Like, man, honestly,
it was eye opening, right? Eye opening, yeah. It was
eye opening. You just had a quarterback that took you, on a 4-game winning streak and got you into the playoff, just like this scenario right here. We had nothing but division games in 2019. Right now, we have nothing but division games left. in 2021. So could Jalen Hurts repeat what Carson Wentz did? We're about to see if he does play, if he does not play. But the whole thing is, and then we started off like losing these close games. Like, hey, we blew Atlanta out. Everybody was like, "Oh my God, woo!" I didn't see that coming. Philly bumped that record up to like maybe 10 wins. These guys are on fire. Did you see Jalen Hurts? All this dancing on sideline with Nick Sirianni, all this stuff.
Yeah.
And then week 2 came, and like our schedule was, kind of like y'all's because we played
most of the same
Falcons
games.
week 1, and it was like, all right, boom. Everybody was like, hey, we still was underdog. We was underdog the first until we played the Detroit Lions. We was underdog for 7 straight weeks. We had the Falcons, the 49ers, the Bucks, the Kansas City Chiefs, the Carolina Panthers, the Dallas Cowboys. Those were our first 6 games.
Yeah.
And then we had the Raiders, so all these teams was way better than the Philadelphia Eagles.
Mm-hmm.
And we went out and started throwing the hell out the ball. Like Jalen Hurts was throwing for like 30, 40 times a game.
Mm-hmm.
And we lost a lot of games that way. The 49ers game, we should have won that game. But and then we decided to start running the ball. And now, hey, we won 4 out of 6.
Yeah.
And we'll see what happened. But we still don't know his peak. Because we started so bad and now just
I think we're like mirrors of each other, to be honest with you, right? I feel like it's the same thing with us. We kind of came out. Fitzpatrick was supposed to be our QB1. The thing with Fitzpatrick was like, we had Dwayne Haskins before, and we had Alex Smith before. We all know who Alex Smith is. He just checks the ball down. He's more of like a protects the ball kind of person. And we're like, if our defense is somewhat legit, like even close to what it was last year, if Fitzpatrick can put up like 28, 30 points, just throwing the ball, just go nuts, maybe 1 or 2 turnovers a game, we're going to be like a 10-7 team. We thought we were going to blow up this year, right? Basically, he goes down first week of the first half. Yep. I was actually at that game. For the second quarter, he's out, and then basically Heineke comes in. And Heineke is basically Jalen Hurts is a much superior athlete compared to Heineke, but I feel like they're about like the question mark with him in DC is like, Heineke isn't that bad. Like, people are like, he's not that bad. He controls the ball. Like, he actually he came with Ron Rivera. I don't know if he played with Ron Rivera in Carolina. He basically came with Scott Turner, so he knows the offense inside and out. And he's a baller, man. He's like a mighty mouse. Like, he's small. He just basically he'll dive for first downs. He has that heart, but like his only Achilles heel is his arm isn't that strong. So if you're trying to have him to throw the ball downfield or throw it towards the boundaries, I'm gonna throw it, sideline throw. It's kind of like a little rainbow as opposed to a bullet. And that's where you see that, and when he knows the offense, so he times it well, but he can't gun it. And if he has to force a throw, then it's like behind the wide receiver, potential pick, and it's like, he's pretty good, but I don't know if he's gonna, should we have him start next year? Should we draft somebody? That's kind of where we're at right now. So these last 4 weeks are important for him too. So same thing with Hurts. I'm sure same thing right there. So we'll see.
Yeah, and that's what I was just about to ask you. All the Eagle fans, and I'm pretty sure the rest of the division was like, please do not get a quarterback. Please don't go out and get a Russell Wilson, because there were some rumors that hey, he might go to Washington. I was like, please don't get a quarterback. Do you feel like if y'all had a quarterback, regardless how young this team was, if y'all had drafted one or have a quarterback from the free agent besides Fitzpatrick, like these other quarterbacks that were out there at the time, what rumored to be Deshaun Watson, or
I got a good one for you. I'll drop a name in a second, but go ahead.
Do you think that y'all would have won a lot more game and probably the number 1 seed in the NFC East?
So if you're asking me truthful, and I've been truthful this whole time, man, I do think so. I really do. I think we went hard at Matt Stafford. I don't know if you guys know that.
Yes, that's the one.
We went hard as hell for him. We basically threw a first rounder and a third rounder at him, and basically, I think we were one of the front runners, one of the last 2 to basically get him. But basically, Ron Rivera, we gave him the keys. Ron Rivera is our general manager, coach. He's everything, right? Yeah. So Ron Rivera is there's a threshold to what I'm going to give away for my quarterback. I'm going to give away a first and third. I don't want to give away too many players to basically jeopardize the future. So
but do you think he was thinking about the RG3 though? Remember RG3?
Probably.
And y'all gave up 3 first round, 3 feature players and second and third. I mean, do you think that's what you say? Hey,
Maybe. So to be truthful, Ron Rivera wasn't part of that old
Yeah,
regime. It probably was, it's always like he probably studies NFL history. That's probably not a good look to do, but like that wasn't his fault. But yeah, he was like, you know what? I see too many holes in my team. I don't want to jeopardize it, put all my eggs in one basket. But like if we had Matt Stafford, you see Matt Stafford over there in LA right now. Like, Detroit was definitely holding him
yeah.
back, and I think Scott Turner, our offensive coordinator, is pretty good. So like, if we had Matt Stafford, I think we would have definitely been better. We really wanted Justin Fields. That was somebody we were interested in. The Bears kind of jumped up for that. And like our pick was right around Mac Jones. If Mac, basically if the Patriots didn't get him, but honestly, for like people keep
But he was there though, right? Mac Jones was there before y'all draft.
No, we picked like I think we picked 17 or 19, and they picked 15. So he was a couple picks ahead of us. But we could have easily traded up because we made the playoffs and the Patriots didn't last year. That's why they were a little bit ahead of us. But for real, people hate on me when I say this. Nick Saban and Bill Belichick are best friends. I don't know how deep you know that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So they're best friends. So basically, it was like Mac Jones landing in landing in New England was basically match made in heaven. They married. They knew each other for a minute. So it's cool.
Yeah, I mean, look. And that's the guy I was thinking about was Stafford, because I truly feel like with your offensive weapon that you had, and Logan Thomas, and
Curtis Samuel,
Scary Terry, Curtis Samuel, and Gibson, and that other McKissick, and y'all defense, with the two shutdown corners, really, two good corners that y'all could rely on, with Landon Collins as safety, with your front. All first round draft picks, I thought, man, y'all were one quarterback away. Do you feel like right now you see this game, 13 games in? Do you feel like y'all just one quarterback away, or you saw, man, we might need a little bit more than I thought we was, coming into the season?
So definitely, it depends, right? It depends on the level of quarterback you get, right? If you get a really, really good quarterback, like I think what Washington's going to do this year is they're going to go hard again. I think they really are. I think it's going to be we're going to do like Aaron Rodgers. Like, do you want like a piece? Do you want to own part of the team? Like, so they're going to offer whatever they can. I think they're going to go for I think they're going to shoot for the stars. I think if you get someone like that masks a lot of deficits. I think you can cover a lot of things. I don't think Aaron Rodgers, I think, being real, I'm always a realist, man. I think Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, all those guys, they know that it's like their last 5-year window. They're not going to want to waste it in DC. They're going to want to go to a team that's like a contender. Like, I think, I've heard Aaron Rodgers was to go to Denver. I've heard Russell Wilson, he might
New York.
Yeah, New York. I heard a giant. I guess because of Sierra and all that stuff. I mean, whatever.
The bright light, the Big Apple, man. Hey, whether you winning or losing, But then New York. Hey, look, if you look at their offensive side, they loaded too.
Kadarius Toney's pretty solid coming up, and they got Barkley and
Shepard.
Shepard and Slayton, all pretty good, yeah.
A Galladay, they went out and got the number one wide receiver at the time with Barkley. The only thing is their offensive line, but their defense is solid. With two shutdown corners again. We went after. Man, we went hard after
Bradbury. No, who they have? Bradbury.
Not Jackson. Adoree Jackson. And we wanted him. So I could see, if they get a Wilson and fix that offensive line, look, hey, they might be cooking, next year. But do you think for your team, regardless if y'all were contenders or not, with the gray cloud that y'all have hanging over your head, would any quarterback even want to go to that? You know what I mean? And entertain it besides a rookie, Let's start draft one.
So, being truthful, I think that's I think that's it, man. I think for real, I think we could I don't think we're going to get those upper top 10 quarterbacks. Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, Deshaun Watson, unless it's a trade. Trade, you basically can't do anything about it, right? Unless you have a no trade clause. But basically, I think the trade, I don't think those guys are coming. I think if anything, kind of the whispers that we're hearing around in DC is basically Derek Carr. Like if maybe Derek Carr might be pop free, and he's something we could possibly get over here. Derek Carr isn't that bad. Derek Carr's not that bad. Like I think,
he's pretty good.
Yeah, people are gonna hate on me for saying this because he's kind of the DC connection. He's like the West Coast Kirk Cousins for me. I feel like he puts up numbers.
That's true.
He can win some games, but he's not necessarily clutch. Like he's a good player, but not that one guy. They're like running 13 to 14 quarterback 13 14 in the league. I got kind of together there. There's whispers of like I don't know if I like this one, but I'll give you guys a nugget. Like Mitch Trubisky, basically, he's in Buffalo right now. Yeah, I'm about to say he's in Buffalo right now, and basically, so Buffalo's like Carolina Panthers North. They have Sean McDermott and all those Carolina Panthers guys up there. He's the backup to Josh Allen. So like we might have some intel and maybe pull him down here. But for me, I'm like, dude, I'd rather have Taylor Heineke than Mitch Trubisky, right? I feel like Heineke's actually balling a little bit, and Trubisky like he has an upside, but like he doesn't prove anything either. So if for me, it's like, dude, Derek Carr would be kind of nice. He'd probably be a good quarterback to have, or just keep Heineke and draft a quarterback. Man, just have a quarterback in the first round and see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, look, I hear you, man. All right, so if we do have this matchup, right? If this matchup happens, because hey, we'll see tonight or tomorrow morning if any more players just pop up on the COVID list and stuff like that. How the NFL reacts right now is 18 to 21. That's a lot. That's almost half your team because it's a 53-man roster. So hey, but we'll see. So if this game does happen, so how you feeling about this upcoming matchup?
So prior to COVID, man, I thought I like my chances, to be honest with you, right? I thought, you know what, I think we match up pretty well with you. I think Jalen Hurts, I think he's like a running quarterback. He can throw pretty well, but you guys you rely on your run game. We have a strong defensive line. You kind of your strength versus our strength. And I like their chances there. Plus we were kind of like, we're catching the groove. Like this is our winning formula. We had 4 games in a row. We're looking pretty good. Going into it now, as being truthful with you, like with all the losses that we have on our team, like, I think we have 18 players that are on the COVID list. I was telling Joe yesterday, I think like 5 of our top 6 defensive linemen are out. That's pretty rough. And it's like, our Cameron Curl, number 31, he's an awesome young player. Even if you don't even like Washington, like just to watch him, he was cool. It's fun to watch. He just got tested COVID positive today, and it's like, dude, like we went from a 4.5 point. I think you guys had you guys are 4.5 point favorites, and like typically when you bet, like the home team always gets 3 points anyway. So it's kind of like it's kind of a 50-50 game. And now it's all the way up to 9.5. So you guys are definitely you guys should win the game, and I'm crossing my fingers, maybe they might push it back a day or maybe loosen COVID protocols, because John Allen and a couple other players, like John Allen, number 93, is awesome. My favorite player on the defense. He's vaxxed, so it's like, if he's not doing anything wrong, he just might have a false positive or something. And so I was like, he might if things change, it might have him back. But right now it's not looking good, man. It looks like you guys it sucks because this game is so exciting at 6 and 7. Like it would have been a fun little, playoff light game, you know what I'm saying? It would have been kind of fun to have. But now it's like you guys got the, if you guys lose and we win with what's going on, man, I mean, you guys can't live that down, man. It's tough.
It will be
preseason
tough.
Lineup. It'll be tough.
It will be tough. I mean, it'll be harder than us losing to the Giants a couple weeks ago, a few weeks ago, because we should not have lost that game. But it is what it is. But we blew that opportunity, because if we would have beat the Giants, we would have been that 7th seed right now. With 4 division games left. But the protocols, though, if you test a negative twice within 24 hours before the game, you're good. So as long
that's what I'm saying. So basically the way obviously I'm well rehearsed in it now with all my players being on this COVID list. If you basically are not vaccinated, you have to have 10 days of a buffer window, right? So Kendall Fuller, one of our good corners, he is not vaccinated, so he's indefinitely out. He's out for sure. But then Jonathan Allen and Tim Settle, 2 of our defensive tackles, they basically they are vaccinated, so all they need is 2 consecutive negative tests within 48 hours. So they could be back, and that might help us out a little bit. Sweat, remember I was telling you about him, the one that started all of this?
Yeah.
He's going to be done with his 10 days on Saturday. So basically, if he gets that negative, then he's good. We can have him on Sunday. So in theory, we can maybe field a team, but right now it's not looking good. And just be real with you, the NFL never hooks Washington up. If this is Dallas or Tampa Bay, or Pittsburgh, we got to move the game. They don't care about DC. They're gonna screw us up. We're gonna play no matter what. So we'll see, man.
Well, I mean, in all fairness, they did say from the beginning of the season, if a team is a cause of a breakout, the team will forfeit. We will not reschedule no games. And it's been working this year, people been very careful. And then all of a sudden, this last couple of weeks just came out of nowhere. And it's not only the NFL, it's It's
Basketball, the Bulls the other day
basketball,
playing.
and it's just like all across the sports right now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what happened. Is all these tests all of a sudden went bad? Expired, and now every player that they test positive, positive, positive. I mean, it's shocking to me how fast it spread, and I mean, thank God that nobody is really, really, ill. Has some bad
Yeah.
symptoms and stuff like that. But all right, so look, so your O line, right? If y'all were intact, so if Nick Sirianni and Jonathan Gannon is watching this stream right now,
Mm-hmm.
where would you tell them to attack? What's your strength and weakness? Who to stay away from and who to go after?
All right, so just to give you all a heads up, so over there in Birdland over there, so we got our offensive line is the one thing that's not messed up right now. So we have 4 of 5 of our starters that are in there, and we're actually getting Sam Cosby back, who's our second-round pick. He's coming back at right tackle, so our offensive line's healthy right now. However, they have one gleaming. It's funny. They have one gleaming weak spot, which is the center, man. So the center basically, like, we're at our 5th, like legitimately our 5th center coming in on the Sunday or whatever. I don't even know. I think his name is Justin Toth, and apparently he's like a plus size
How y'all
model
went
on
to
the
your
side.
5th center, man?
Because so basically what happened was
what happened to the first 4?
So like two of them are out for the year. Two of them, like one like tore his ACL, one blew his Achilles, and then two, I think maybe 2 more have COVID or something like that. So I was like, now we're on number 5, like not even being fun. I mean, like I'm literally like number 5. So attack the damn middle of the damn defensive offensive line.
Hargrave,
that's the way to do
okay.
it. Yeah. So Hargrave or Cox or something like that is penetrate that 0 gap, man. It's get him after him. We'll see what's up, but that's where it is right there.
Yeah. Wow. Look, I'm going to throw y'all a little bone. As far as the Philadelphia Eagles, offensive line goes, the weakest part on our offensive line, if Brandon Brooks don't come back, is that right guard side.
Okay.
Because we had Lane Johnson. Last time he played, we had Herbig, Kelsey. If he's fully healthy, we still got to wait for the final injury report to come out, because right towards the end of the Jets game, like under a minute left, his knee got messed up, his ankle got messed up, and it looked pretty bad at the time. Mm-hmm. But he had 2 weeks to kind of heal up, and we ain't heard anything negative about it. So we'll see. And then we got, the steal of the draft, in my opinion. Yes, we got Devontae Smith. We got the Heisman Trophy winner. But I think offensive line is crucial, man.
Yeah, man,
because,
for real.
like, inside the trenches, you need to win the trenches. We have Lyndon Dickerson alongside our bodyguard, Mariota. You know what I mean? So our weakness is that only right guard spot right in there, but he's sandwiched between 2 good guys, Lane Johnson and Kelsey. So our offensive line is pretty intact. Your offensive line is pretty intact. This is what is really going to make or break this thing. Yeah. Defense is strength and weakness, the defensive line. Mm-hmm. So now, if y'all fully healthy, or if y'all get Montez Sweat back and stuff like that, who is the game record? Hey, we need to maybe chip this guy, or who should we go after on that defensive line?
So basically, our defensive line is basically, they're monsters, right? Or they should have been monsters. The one player that had a stellar year, sorry, I'm actually just kind of retweeting your post because that's we're doing live, so let me hit the retweet real quick. But basically, our defensive line, man. So Jonathan Allen, number 93. Like, if he comes back, if you see that kind of pop up later on in the week, watch out for him, man. He's been a beast. Like, he actually, like, legitimately, like, as a defensive tackle, like, nose tackle, 1-2 technique. He's got 8 sacks on the year. He's been disrupted. He's been blowing it up. And, like, if that right guard was a problem, Jonathan Allen would be standing right over that right guard and basically blowing him up. So Jonathan Allen's legit. Deron Payne, number 94, is still going to basically be on the field. He's like another Alabama prospect. He's more of like a big run stopper, like nose guard kind of guy, but he basically he's legit. He's solid. But yeah, if you want to be, talk about like weaknesses and how you guys can exploit it, our defensive ends, we're basically weak, right? We have, Chase Young's out for the year. Montez Sweat doesn't make it. We basically are going to have, like, let's hope, like, basically James Smith-Williams and Casey Toohill are going to basically be our 2 defensive ends. If get,
our guy.
Casey Toohill. So Toohill bases over there. And let's do, like, I'm sure you know about him. Like, he's like a serviceable defensive end, but nothing like, nothing game changing or whatever. What's been happening with Washington Washington, for all you fans to basically watch, is that they basically are playing sound defense. They're playing zone, right? So what they're doing
Mm-hmm.
is like, you know what, without Chase and without Montez, we can't play his man as much. We're just play zone. Casey and Smith Williams just going to kind of like go upfield and contain, and basically, hopefully, Payne and Settle and Ioannidis, all of our stud defensive tackles, are basically going to push the middle and cause chaos, and just the zone will kind of like 5-yard gains, 6-yard gains, and then hopefully we'll get a stop. And it's been working, right? But now, right now, Allen's out, Ioannidis is out, Settle's out. Those are our legit, those are our best pass rushers. 3 of them are out, so that's, if that's our weakness, you guys are a run team. I would just run right down the middle of, our defensive line right now, or I would have Hurts do some bootlegs and try to help, you guys know Casey too. He was not going to run down Jalen Hurts, take advantage of that and kind of see how that goes. But that's what we got, man.
Well, like I told you, now I'm like, yeah, it sounds good only if Jalen Hurts plays.
Yeah.
Because like I said, to start this
Minshew's a different animal. You're right.
Yeah, because Minshew, he's not the Statue of Liberty, but he's not a Jalen Hurts, type of rollout quarterback and try to run, get out of danger. So with our defensive line, we still got Barnett, he's serviceable. Hey, I'm not gonna say he's trash. Even though he was our first round
he
pick.
started off low, right? And then basically had a couple of years we started to peak a little bit. He's a beast coming out of Tennessee, right? Wasn't he didn't he break Reggie White's record or something?
Yeah,
supposed to be a monster. I remember I was upset that you guys drafted him and nothing really happened from that.
Well, let's just say that since he's been in the league for 5 years, that he has more penalties than sacks.
Oh, geez. Okay.
So let's just say that. So he's probably at 22, 23 sacks in 5 years.
Okay.
I mean,
better than nothing, though. Sense
but for a first-round draft pick, but he got about 29, 30 penalties. That in crucial time. I'm not talking about first quarter, 10 minutes into it, bam, he get offside. Okay. No. It is 3rd and 10. Fourth quarter.
It's like back-breaking penalties is not at the right time.
With 2 minutes left. Okay. You stop this team right here, y'all get the ball back. Okay. Here we go. Personal foul. Back-breaking penalties. That's the
guy.
problem.
We have a couple of those, but I feel you on that. So I'm with you, man. It sucks.
Yeah. So that's the issue. He just had bad timing. And then we have, of course, Hargrave. 7 sacks. I think it's 7 or 7.5 sacks. Yeah, but he should be. I'm thinking. Going to a pro. And Cox, he's not having a great year. He's having an okay year, but you don't have an okay year when you're the highest paid player on a team.
He's still the highest paid player. Cox is like you guys have him on your team. That Cox was our Ryan Kerrigan, right? He basically was like our Mr. Eagle, Mr. Washington player. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when I know Cox. I mean, Cox is awesome, but I guess he's gone that. Kerrigan, I think we made the right call, right? We basically let go of him. He's not doing anything for y'all, right?
I'm glad you brought him up. Go ahead. Hey, look, he hasn't
use
done
him this week. Have him join our team. Yeah. Go ahead.
He hasn't done anything for us all year. He's been close against sacks, still been close, but he was the Eagle killer. He killed us every time.
He was. I think his during every NFC East team, he was the Eagle killer. Santana Moss, our old wide receiver, is the Cowboy killer, and basically Kerrigan's the Eagle killer. You're right about that.
So I'm thinking, hey, we need him for 2 games.
Yeah,
both games against y'all. Both games against y'all, and we just seen him show up because
does he get a lot of reps? Does he play a lot?
We do a lot of rotating. You know what I mean? That's the thing. About our defensive line because we play this type of defense, this bend don't break defense when people start getting tired. So now you got to keep rotating guys out. So he does get some play, But I'm thinking that all year, man, he just had 2 games on his mind, both against y'all. Y'all like, hey, y'all let me go, and I'm hoping I would start him. I would start him over Barnett. I would start Kerrigan, Hargrave, Cox, and Sweat, and then rotate, Kerrigan and Barnett out, in whatever package you want to bring in. So That's our defensive line. Pretty much everybody is healthy. And we'll see. Look, we got 4 games left. 4 games left. They know this is it. They know this is it. And the thing is about Jonathan Gannon, right? When we play bad quarterbacks.
So who's Jonathan Gannon to fill me in? I'm not familiar with the defensive.
Jonathan Gannon is our defensive coordinator. He's never been a defensive coordinator before. He was a defensive back coach for the Vikings and then all that good stuff, right?
Yep.
So he played this type of defense, this bend don't break type of defense, like more like a zone. He's afraid to send the blitz unless he plays bad quarterbacks. So if your quarterback can't get rid of the ball under 3 seconds, most likely not, that he's running out the pocket, he's going to get sacked. So all these games that we lost, besides the Daniel Jones one, I still don't know how we lost that Daniel Jones game.
Yeah, dude.
We lost to good
Don't talk to us about Daniel Jones. Turns into Jesus Christ whenever he plays Washington. He's just running the ball. He's it's wild. He just goes crazy against us. I don't know why, but it just happens that way. He's nuts. But
man. So our other losses has been against Dak Prescott, Tom Brady, Herbert, freaking Derek Carr. It just every quarterback that get rid of the ball so fast because he doesn't send the blitz, and we're playing zone a lot. But you have the players to try to play up man. You have Big Play Slay. Yeah. Big Play Slay is definitely going to the having a great year. He should be going to the Pro Bowl. We're all trying to root him on. But he has the players, but he just this is his first year, and he don't trust. Hey, if I make a mistake, he don't trust in the guys to have his back, and that's the problem.
On the last pod I was on, basically they were saying that his job's on the line, right? Or he's on the hot seat, basically, right? The defensive coordinator.
I don't really think he is, man. Honest truth. Yeah. Because the last 8 games, there was this interesting stat on Twitter that this dude posted out. The past 8 weeks we've been in top 10 in every category, third down efficiencies, rushing yards, holding team to under 80 something rushing yard. So we've been in top 10 in all these categories because I guess we've been playing a lot of weaker schedules too. So that probably helped a lot too, But we'll see. But Jonathan Gannon, he's my only concern because it doesn't matter if you have the players, if you're not using them to their strength, it doesn't even matter. It really doesn't even matter, man. So, but all right. So look, y'all wide receivers, our secondary, who has the advantage?
Well, you gotta give me some intel on your wide receivers.
We got Devontae Smith.
Yeah, I know Devontae Smith and Quez Walker. You guys
might be out.
So to be honest with you, I know about Devontae Smith. I don't really know much about Watkins, man. People people are hyping him up earlier in the week. I'm like, Watkins is the beast. Is he good? I don't really know much about him. What's he kind of up at high riser? Or what are you seeing from him?
Quez Watkins remind me of hey, you need a first down. Yeah, hey, just go to Quez. Okay. And he's our burner. He'll take the top off of anybody. You know what I mean? He had a 91-yard catch earlier in the season.
Okay.
He's a third down machine. If you need a big play, because why? A lot of focus on Devontae Smith.
Gotcha.
So he usually get the second guy and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So but he might be out. Like I said, I don't know his back status or anything like that, but he might be out. But if he comes back, okay. But if he's out, Dallas Goedert, Devontae Smith, don't worry about nobody else. Don't worry about nobody else, man, because Dallas Goedert is a beast. Devontae Smith, maybe Rager. Everybody know about Rager, man.
Rager's hit or miss. He'll have a touchdown or he'll drop a ball. I know about
No. He's a miss. Slightly hit, miss, slightly. No, it's no hit or miss.
I actually like Rager coming out of college. It stinks that he didn't. He's from TCU,
but do you think he was worth a first round pick? Is he a first round talent? That's the problem.
And I'm pretty, I'm sure you guys do this, right? You probably reflect on all the wide receivers that went before him and after him, and you're probably kicking yourself because of it. It happens, man. It happened.
Justin Jefferson.
I know, dude.
Was on the board, but he didn't go before him, though.
I know, exactly. That's gotta hurt, dude. I feel you, man.
So he went right after him to the Vikings, and the Vikings, man. The saddest moment of my life so far, watching the draft, was as soon as the Philadelphia Eagles select Jalen Rager, they showed the Vikings war room. Like, come on, hurry up, go. Hey, yo, they knew exactly. Yo, they were laughing. It was like, what?
Jefferson's a beast too, man. Working off Jamar Chase and LSU, they're a combo, man. So they're legit.
Yeah, so that's what we got.
Yeah, so I got you, man. To answer your question, so if we're full healthy, man, I think we would have the advantage because what we have is we have William Jackson, who is our big free agent.
Yeah.
Who's actually really highly rated in PFF. I think he was the number one cornerback basically in free agency this offseason. He was a great man-to-man cover corner, and he was a press cover too. We basically did not really use him that well at the beginning of the year, so we start off kind of slow. He's starting to get a lot better now too. So number 23 is a good player, so watch out for him. We had him on one side. We had Kendall Fuller, who basically was another getting trash. Basically, we had Kendall Fuller on the other side is another good corner, but we already talked about him being out indefinitely. Cameron Curl, like he in the Washington circles, he's like borderline Pro Bowl. He's like a strong safety, really good, great player. Number 31, he's on COVID. And then finally, Landon Collins. And basically, Landon Collins, I love
Collins. Though.
Yeah, dude, I'll tell you what, man. I'm a Collins proponent too. People were hating on him real hard. Washington wasn't using him right at first. They put him as like a deep cover two safety or like a free safety. That's not his game. He plays more of like a hybrid, like almost like a honey badger, like a linebacker safety now.
Yeah, Malcolm Jenkins, man. He reminds me of Malcolm Jenkins type,
killing it. Like I'm saying, like in regard like pass, like without like Sweat and Young and with all that, like he is coming off the edge in a blitz. He's blitzing up the middle. He's an awesome run stopper. Like he is thriving there. So like at full strength, basically, I think Washington would have had it, but now it's like, Cameron Curl's gone, Kendall Fuller's gone, so we're down 2. But I do want to say this though, like Washington's like depth in regard to their corners, they've been around for a minute. Like Danny Johnson and some other guys, they know the system. Like they're not going to be shut down, but they're not going to be exploited either. So like it's going to be a good matchup. I think it's going to be fair. Like it's a 50-50. Whoever's coming to play that day, whoever's hot that day, pretty much.
Okay. So let's reverse it a little bit. All right, so about big play Slay, Maddox, he's our slot corner. I think he's one of the best slot corners this year. I mean, he finally found his position. He's been with us for about 4 or 5 years now, and we signed to an extension after we signed Dallas Goedert, and they both happen to be roommates. So so he's pretty much, I mean, he played against some tough tight ends this year, the Kittles, the Kelsey, the Kyle Pitts, and none of them went over 50, 60 yards. I mean, he's been that dude for us in that slot. And then on the outside is Steven Nelson, right? I thought, hey, look, I'm going to speak for me. I thought once we got Steven Nelson, man, with our defensive, line with Anthony Harris and, McLeod, I was like, man, this is a top 5 defense. There's no way they're about to be thrown on us. Well, our weak link is Steven Nelson. Our weak link is Steven Nelson. So with that being said, all right, so your receivers versus our secondary, who has the advantage there?
So, dude, I know it's saying it over and over again. It's a record. It depends on who plays, man. So, Terry McLaurin, I'm telling you what, man. I'm not being a homer. I promise you. Like, Terry McLaurin is the real deal, man.
I know.
Legit.
I had him in fantasy 2 years ago. So, I know what type of.
Like Terry McLaurin is being limited by Washington, right? If we had if we had Matt Stafford like we talked about before, he'd be he'd be a household name, right? But he's playing with like Taylor Heineke and Alex Smith and Dwayne Haskins and Kyle Allen. Like he's still putting up 80 catches, 1,200 yards, 6 or 7 touchdowns. Like he's legit, dude. So like if he plays, I'll take him. I'll go to Ward McLaurin. He's a good player. I brought this up yesterday. The familiar name for you guys, Deandre Carter. He's actually playing pretty well. He's actually he's playing pretty well. So right as of like last week, he was number 1 in the NFC for Pro Bowl for kickoff returners. I don't know if y'all knew that, but he's doing awesome.
I heard that.
He's doing awesome basically as a kick returner. He's awesome as a slot. He's doing pretty good. Curtis Samuel, we have a good wide receiver there. We kind of use him as like a running back, more of like a jet sweep kind of guy. And then Diami Brown, basically from North Carolina. I don't know if you know him. He was a Sam Howell's deep threat, throw the ball downfield. So like our wide receiver and Adam Humphries, who's like a good little Wes Welker or whatever, Cole Beasley, whatever slot. And we have so Like I think that man, I think we might have the advantage with the wide receiver right there. If you're saying your defensive backs aren't that strong,
Well, I
besides
mean,
Slay,
but
yeah,
Slade
yeah,
and Maddox is pretty good in the
yeah,
slot and
yeah,
one slot, but Slade don't really travel though. You know what I
yeah.
mean? So
And they put
if
and they put
Terry
and they
plays,
put Terry. I think if Terry plays and we got the because
yeah,
Terry goes everywhere. Terry, they gonna put him in the slot. Terry's like, what I love about him is he just is like he's the guy you want on your team. He's like that like he's a great route runner, so that means he's like
hmm
transferable skills. Like he's not like he's not a deep threat. He's like slants, drags, hitches, like deep routes. He's a burner. He blocks. Like he's like
yeah,
dude. He's somebody you want on your team. So if he's there, I'll take McLaurin all day long. And we'll see if the other guys can step up. But it's all about hopefully we have him, and I think him and Heineke have a connection. So it's pretty interesting.
yeah. I mean, look, hey, since you said that, and hey, it's gonna be up to our defensive line to try to get through your offensive line to
Yeah, yeah.
hey, to minimize how long either Allen, if he does pass the COVID protocol, or so who would you want start? Both healthy, Allen or Heineken? I know you saw
Oh,
this past
so
Sunday
John
game.
Alec and John Allen or Taylor Heineke. Oh man, that's funny. So like I'll tell you what, like in Washington circles, people would probably Kyle. I don't know if you know this. Kyle Allen, our backup quarterback, has COVID too. So he's
Yeah, that's what I'm
so
saying.
basically, so I want Heineke because if we don't have Heineke, then basically we don't even have a backup. But like what I was gonna say though is people in DC are I'm sure they're the same way in Philadelphia. They're like, Taylor Heineke isn't all that. I want to see Kyle Allen play because we want to see if he's better than Heineke. But for me, Heineke is the guy that got you there. You guys will see. Like he's a gamer, man. Like he's gonna, like
I know.
even if y'all keep coming at him, he's gonna basically like he's gonna be diving. He's gonna get he'll. You guys will hit him. He'll get up, start talking trash to the lineman. He doesn't care. Like I like players like he has that fire behind him. So we need Heineke. I think our offense is going to be okay. I think our defense is going to be a hot mess because all the COVID stuff's all on defense. So like, if Washington's going to, I don't know if we're going to go this route, but if Washington's going to win the game, it's Antonio Gibson basically running the ball, Heineke keeping the ball safe, keeping you guys off the field, and that's a formula to win if we can do it.
Yeah, I mean, look, for some odd reason, I don't know if y'all fan base like this, but for some odd reason, our fan base always want the backup. Like, let's see the
Always.
backup. Like the
Yeah.
backup. Come on, backup. Like I've never seen a fan base that love a backup quarterback like the Philadelphia Eagles. Like we had Carson Wentz, they wanted Nick Foles. We had freaking Hurts. Oh my God, put in Gardner Minshew. I mean, it's always like, hey, the backup, the backup.
So it's that age-old adage, JC. It's basically if you have two quarterbacks, you have none, right? It's pretty much what it comes down to, right? So basically, if you have that one that's undisputed, you're not going to hear about that. But like, that's been even we won 3 Super Bowls back in the 90s and late 80s. Washington's never had like you had McNabb for a little while, right? But we don't have.
Yeah, we had McNabb for a long
but I'm saying
time.
like we haven't even had that. Like it was like we have a quarterback at most 3 or 4 years and we're flipping. And it's like we haven't had a franchise quarterback. Like Kirk Cousins was our closest thing to it, but then we kind of ran him out of town and look where we're at now. It's a new quarterback every year. What happens in
So
DC.
why didn't y'all sign Kirk Cousins? I mean, until long term.
Yeah, so basically, so Kirk Cousins, like, for one, our old GM Bruce Allen is like a scumbag. He's the guy that basically him and John Gruden. I don't know if you guys. He's the one that got John Gruden fired.
Yeah.
You know that, right? So Bruce, So those are the emails going back and forth. So Bruce Allen's kind of a scumbag. Kirk Cousins is like, legitimate. I'm not even being funny. Like he's like the priest's son. Like he's like, he's a very like good-hearted person and like whatever, like all about values and things like that. Kirk basically always felt slighted, right? Because like RG3 was the golden child, and basically it was like we drafted RG3, and like the rumor was even during like the preseason, Kirk Cousins would outperform RG3, like from like a quarterback perspective, but like the owner was like, I want RG3, kind of push it down, and Kirk Cousins it's not, you're not giving me a fair shot. So we always had that chip on his shoulder. And then what happened was when it came down to a contract, Bruce Allen basically gave him here's like 17 million, where like the market value was like 25 or whatever. And Kirk Cousins was like, dude, get out of here. Like you guys have been disrespecting me the entire time. And then basically Kirk Cousins just dragged his feet to 2 franchise tags and just dipped. And basically,
I remember.
Yep. I'll be honest with you, Kirk was right. I mean, if you ask Washington fans, they hate Kirk. Like, oh, he's greedy, but nah, man, being real, Kirk was right. I think we screwed him. Like, if we offered him a legit deal, I mean, we could have kept him, but we didn't.
And look, he bet on himself, and he became the first quarterback to get a fully guaranteed contract,
Yeah,
from the Vikings. And
yeah,
now, hey, it's doable.
yeah,
If you're a quarterback, I like that Prescott. Hey, pull Kirk Cousin. But
yeah.
they didn't want him to pull a Kirk Cousin because he would have kept on signing, this 1 year deal, and then did, and then what? And then, hey, you ain't got no quarterback right now, and
Yeah.
there's no franchise quarterback. And Kirk Cousins, he's doing pretty well. I really think if Kirk Cousins was on this team, y'all still would probably been 2 more wins better than where
Oh,
you are right now.
100%. Like we've had
So,
like we so our if you actually look at our record, we've been like 7-9, like 8-8. We've been kind of like around 500. I think with like we had a huge dip the other year, like whatever, like
mhm,
4-12 or whatever it was. But it was like we would have been an 8 to 10 team, and 10 win team for like throughout this entire like I think we would
yeah,
have been we maybe stuck in neutral. We would have been like we would have been the
yeah,
Vikings, we've been like someone like that, like throughout the like wild card playoff team every single time. But
yeah,
he, yeah, Kirk Cousins is not clutch in Washington circles apparently. So that's what we're
yeah.
thinking.
All right. So we're about to do the impact player, the 3 keys victory, and your score prediction, and we're about to get out of here. So
All
impact
right.
player, one guy on each side. If who does Philadelphia Eagles? Hey, you stop him, or the secondary, or the line. One impact player that could like change this game around. Probably a fumble, a pick six, a sack strip, anything on the defense, and then on the offense. Look, this dude will give you hell all day, all night if you do not focus on this one guy.
All right, so let's start off with the offense. That's kind of an easier question, right?
Scary Terry.
Yeah, no. Well, Scary Terry is a great one, actually. We'll put that one on the shelf. Scary Terry is a good one. But for real, like this is real talk. So Scary Terry is like a great player. He's gonna make some big
Yeah, yeah,
plays. Antonio Gibson, man. If Washington runs against Philadelphia,
yeah.
I think it's gonna be a long day for y'all. You guys are favorite to win. You guys should win the game. But if Antonio Gibson starts popping off to the tune of like
Mhm.
20, 30 carries, getting 4 yards of carry, something like that. Like if you actually go back when we get offline, look at it like our 4 game winning streak. It was like
Mhm.
he went from 14 touches to 28 and went from like 50 yards to like 120 yards. And if Antonio Gibson can basically pop off and a run game gets working, then become a scary team. It's like, you know what? Like, he gets, first down, be like, 5 yard carry by Antonio Gibson. Heineke at 2nd and 5. He can do that. He can do this little like dink and he can manage the
Yeah.
game, and that's how that can control the offense. So if Gibson starts popping off, that's gonna be a good sign for Washington. So you guys got to shut him down. If you force Heineke to throw the ball 40 times, or if you like we get down 10-0 and Heineke has to win the game back, then that becomes a dangerous slippery slope, and that's good for y'all. So stopping Antonio Gibson is the way to go. Defense, man, we're so like shredded on defense, but I think it's going to be impact players. I think Deron Payne, number 94, he has to, he's going to be that big, pass rush up the middle.
Mhm.
If he can generate plays, that'll be a big thing. If he stops the run, like if he can stop Jordan Howard or Miles Sanders, whoever's running, he's a brick wall. I mean, he'll definitely shut it down. But then the impact player will probably be Landon Collins. I think
That's what I'm about to say.
you and
Yeah.
I talked about it. Like I think you said you like him. You're
Yeah, I
gonna like
do.
watching him. He basically I like how they're using him because Jack Del Rio is our he's our defensive coordinator. He knows how to use these players. Like he's gonna be flying around. He's gonna be in the backfield and he might do something. So Landon Collins has been playing pretty well. So keep an eye on him. 26.
All right. Hey, for me, look, hey, I'm gonna go with Big Play Slay. I mean, I
Yep.
need him. Like, I know he doesn't travel a lot, but I'm really hoping that, hey, look, this is divisional games now, man. And this
Yeah.
is do or die game for us. I need you to. You are a Pro Bowl, and in the Eagle fan base eyes and my eyes, if you are a Pro Bowl, I need you to follow Terry.
Mm-hmm.
If we could take Terry out the picture, we could like minimize the damage with as far as the passing game goes.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the defense, on the offensive side, I really think it's whatever quarterback is back there. If it's Jalen Hurts, hey, look, I need you to use what God gave you. Your running ability, your dual threat ability, and you had a week to 2 weeks actually to watch Gardner Minshew come in and shredded the Jets. Yes, it was the Jets, but you saw how the offense was flowing. You know what I mean? So, but if it's Gardner Minshew, I need you to come in there. Look, hey, we don't know if Washington is preparing for you or not. I need you to just come in there and do exact same thing you did last week. Yes, it was against the Jets, but guess what? These lanes was open. These plays was open. and you had to force nothing. So I need you to do some good reads. And so whoever quarterback is back there, really, for me.
So real quick before you jump on the defense, or you already said the defense. Sorry,
Yeah.
Gardner Minshew is basically Taylor Heineke. Man. For I don't know if you guys if you think about it that way, they're very similar players, and I think like the only reason Heineke is doing really good is because he knows like he's a kind of like that, like he's the same kind of player, but he knows the offense. So why Heineke's pretty good. So I don't know.
Yeah. So all right. So hey, 3 keys to victory. If the Washington football team would win this game and pull up the upset. Hey, y'all got about 1,000 people on COVID list. So if y'all would pull off this upset, and it's a scary matchup to me. It's really, really a scary matchup. I know when the team is beat up, they're down. The other team was, oh my God, we got this in the bag. Hey, just like the fans was like, oh my God, man, there's no way we should lose to them. If we're thinking like that, I'm pretty sure some of the players are like, man, they look at the list, are like, oh my God, yes. Woo, he's like, oh man. And now your mindset changes. So this is a scary, scary game. But, 3 keys to victory if y'all will pull up this upset.
Yeah, man. So basically, I think the number one will be for Washington to establish a run. So basically, if Antonio Gibson can basically run the ball and basically like we run a zone concept, run game, right? So what you guys are going to see is like Curtis Samuel or Deandre Carter like running jet sweeps, maybe fake the handoff, and then basically the linebackers moving one way, they do a zone block and a zone run the other way. It opens up a huge hole. Antonio Gibson's going to pop through that, right? So establishing the run basically and using McKissick and Gibson as like a 1-2 punch is definitely key for us. Okay. Stopping the run for you guys, because you guys are, whether it's a quarterback running or Miles Sanders, I think we can kind of like stop you guys from controlling the game. And then finally, with our defense being so depleted, time of possession. I know it sounds cheesy, but time of possession. If we keep you guys off the field and basically we're running the ball and you guys are not on the field, if we have these long 7-minute drives and we're scoring touchdowns or something like that, and you guys can't, that's going to shorten the game. And I think that's all Washington wants to do is get out of this game, get a couple scores. And if they can basically shorten it and just kind of get out, hopefully with a win, and that's it right there. I think it's it's the key to the game.
Yeah, look, hey, real quick for me, the keys to the game is this. My 3 keys to victory is we need to run the ball. Do regardless who's on the other side. We ran through for 240-something yards against the number 1 defense in the Saints. So we could run the ball. 2, look, our defense, we need to get pressure. We watched the Dallas Cowboys game. Oh my God. Them boys up front, I don't think we have that much firepower on our defensive front, but they was getting to Heineken. They was beating him up. He had basically zero time to even look down the field. So we need to do that. Even if we got in the blitz, just do it. Just take a key to that.
So one thing real quick, just to give you guys some context, our offensive line is actually pretty damn good. If you actually look at PFF, I think we have the 3rd best in the entire league with pass protection. But dude, that just shows you how ridiculous the Cowboys are. And the Cowboys came in I was at that game, and Micah Parsons is everything is advertised. And I hate to say that because, you said Justin Jefferson and Jalen Rager. Dude, we wanted a linebacker. We got Jamin Davis, number 52, is doing all right. He is not Micah Parsons, man. Micah Parsons is the maniac out there, dude. So it was wild. So
trust me, I've seen him in Penn State, man. Hey, but I'm a Penn State fan. Okay. But man.
The last one, you said a run the ball.
Yeah, a running game.
Pressure.
your pressure. And look, I need our coaching staff, Nick Sirianni and Jonathan Gannon. Look, this is their biggest game as a whole. If you want to put your stamp in the league, in the NFC, and say, hey, we got 4 divisional games left. Let's go out and call some good plays, offensive side and defensive side. So it's going to be a coaching game to me, because if we can't score against y'all, are they going to panic? Let's just say that Hurts, he can't really start, but he's serviceable to come in as a backup, or if he does start and he goes down 10 points, are you going to panic and put Minshew in? So it's going to be a whole bunch of moving pieces. But I just want our coaching staff to just be patient, just stick to the script. We want 4 out of 6. Just like y'all coming in a 4 out of 5. Whatever worked during that winning streak, hey, just keep at it. And tweak it a little bit, because this is a divisional game. Like I said, these guys know each other very, very well. Yeah, so that's what I need. So now you probably gonna pick Washington, but I'm gonna let you give your score prediction and who wins on Sunday.
All right, so 42 nothing Sixers best round. So it's nah, so I'm real, man. I don't fake. So what I don't think's gonna happen. I think it's gonna be 28-14 Philadelphia. I think you guys are gonna win the game. I think I think it's just going to be too much. I think we're just going to be too depleted on our defensive side. But I'll tell you what, though, let's be straight up with you. I think
Mhm.
we are a Ron Rivera coach team. I don't know if that means anything to y'all, but I
Oh
believe it,
yeah,
man.
he's a fighter.
He knows he's a fighter and he knows how to get his team up. I wouldn't be surprised if a team basically overachieves or fights back or anything like that. I can see the one or two scenarios. Either like basically, it's a nip and tuck game, 14-14, all of a sudden we have a really bad turnover and it goes out of basically blows out of proportions, or basically you guys get a pretty big league early, but we don't give up and we just keep fighting, because I think that's how Ron Rivera is with Del Rio. I wish, obviously you guys are happy with the roster being beat up, but it would have been so much more fun if the game was actually toe to toe, because I think it would have been a really good matchup, and I think it would have been a close game, like a coin flip kind of game. But right now, all the injury, if nothing happens right now, standing here on Thursday with the preseason roster, I think we're going to basically lose the game, honestly. So I don't know
All
too
right,
much.
look.
Yeah.
And my score prediction is easy for me because I feel like that when the Eagles don't put up 30 points, we don't win. I
Yeah.
mean, we won one game this year against the Panthers where we didn't put up 30 points.
Mm-hmm.
Every other game, we had to put up 30 points. So my magic number is 30.
Okay.
So I'm going to go 30-17.
Okay.
So I feel like, if we start getting the lead, we start running the ball, like the first two possessions on both sides, it might be 7-7, 14-14. Somebody is going to make a mistake, and that's where the game is going to change at. I mean, divisional games, it's hard
You
to
throw the
predict.
records out the window, right? So you have no idea.
Throw the record
man.
out the window.
Yeah.
I've been telling the Giants fan that, I was the one that was like, come on, calm down, Giants fan. Look, don't worry, Giants fan. Hey, this is a divisional game. And I turned out to be exactly right. I mean, but it is what it is. Look, man, I really appreciate you, man. Hey, look, if y'all watching this stream, man, go check his podcast out, man. Look, trust me, we play them twice a year, every year. If you're a content creator, definitely hit his Twitter up, because we do play them again in a couple more weeks. So hopefully at that time, if they're not healthy this Sunday, they will be healthy, in 2 weeks from now. And we go from there, man. So, hey, just to end this, just tell them a little bit about you one more time, and then we're going to get out of here.
Cool. Thank you, JC. We're definitely gonna, play each other maybe 2 weeks from now. So, maybe you can link up, come on my podcast next time. It'll be a lot of fun, man. It'll be awesome. So yeah, guys. So George Carmi, born and raised in DC. You can find me at gcarmi21 is my handle on Twitter. I talk all football, man. I'm definitely a Washington football fan, but I love talking about the draft, love talking about the NFC East. I'm definitely not a hater. I'm easy going, so hit me up whenever you want. I also write for FPC Washington, Full Press Coverage Washington. So at FPC_WSH for Washington. They also run the Full Press Washington podcast, and JC's been awesome. Dropping my channel on the over the feed over and over again. Hit me up at any time. Subscribe, please, and that'd be awesome, man. So great being on here. Love talking shop, man.
Hey, no problem, man. Hey, as always, man. Go Birds.